That is some epic stuff. Finally.
That is the personification, the definition,
This is it, guys.
the very core of
This is it.
epicness,
And
right?
may I just warn everyone, this will be a spoiler show.
Spoiler alert.
If you haven't watched it,
Yes.
why are you even listening to our movie show?
Well, no. You can still. Well,
No, why?
unless you want. So wait. So I don't know if you know this, but they've lifted the spoil. Okay, wait, Ryan. Shall we introduce ourselves?
Oh my goodness gracious
guys!
me.
Sorry, this show it's so
Yeah.
intense. We're just like.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, this is the movie show.
On Active FM.
The most epic radio station you will ever listen to.
In the universe.
In the universe. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Aha.
In every single universe. Yeah. And today we are going to be discussing Avengers Endgame.
The Endgame.
The Endgame.
This is it.
Right, this is it, man.
We've been waiting for this.
We're in the Endgame now.
Oh, yeah.
See what I did there?
We're in the Endgame now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So guys, spoiler alert. I don't know if you know this, but the spoiler ban has actually been lifted. Obviously, the
Yes.
Russo brothers, who are the directors of the Avengers, so they sent out this do not spoil, Thanos demands your silence, don't spoil the Endgame. But now the ban has been lifted, and the Russo brothers have actually come
Even
out
did an
and done
interview.
interviews. Two
Yeah.
interviews I saw actually that were like 28 minutes long each. So yeah, this is the 22nd film, but it's the 22nd film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's basically the second last film in Phase 3, which we actually don't know what's happening in Phase 4, but they haven't like come out with this is
Confirmed it,
Phase
yeah.
4. What Marvel has said is they're going to wait until the Spider-Man Far From Home comes out, which is coming out later this year, and then they're going to then basically say, okay guys, this is now what's happening in Phase 4 of Marvel. So Infinity War, which came out last year, which was the third Avengers movie, basically ended with 2/3 of the world's population being dusted as Thanos, the villain, clicked his finger and literally
Dusted everyone
but
off.
2/3 of everything. Actually, it wasn't just people. It was
that's
literally
right.
2/3 of even animals literally disappeared, and that's how the movie ended. And you're like, what? Then Endgame started, and I must be quite honest, they started it. For me, the storyline was really strong. I enjoyed the storyline. It was a cool twist on time travel.
It really just starts off where it left off.
Yeah, it really did.
It's like you can see how everyone's just like down, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, we're really trying to move on, but it's like
It's hard.
like they're not there anymore. So for example, you see a shot of the Statue of Liberty. You see all the boats and the empty boats and stuff that's floating around there, because now people whose boat it was is no longer there. So of course, things that are just, you really do see the impact of what would happen.
And it's just simply because there's not enough people to look after that anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's only 1/3 left. So, but I like the whole the way they took time travel. So it wasn't your conventional, we go back in time, we change the events, etc., etc.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. It was how they work it is that the Infinity Stones actually keep the timeline together.
Yes.
That's how.
That was brilliant.
That was brilliant.
So it's not like you can just go and take the stones.
So if you take the stone
Yeah.
now, you're actually causing a complete.
Yeah.
It will literally mess up. So just to speak about box office, right? So since the premiere of Endgame late last month, the Walt Disney Company film has collected $2.24 billion in worldwide receipts, making it the second highest grossing film ever, passing Cameron's 1997 Titanic, which made $2.19 billion. Endgame hit the 2 billion mark in 11 days of release. 11 days it already hit $2 billion.
Sure.
According to the studio's estimates, by far the fastest any film has reached that milestone. So not only are they set the second highest grossing movie of all time, which they could reach first, but this film has broken so many records. One of the records the film has broken is it became the first official trailer in YouTube history to reach over 1 million likes in less than 4 hours.
Sure. Yeah.
Then Endgame also broke the record for being the film with the most pre-sale tickets sold within 24 hours. The crazy thing is that it didn't even need 24 hours to accomplish that. It broke the record in only 6 hours.
You see?
And then also the Endgame trailer amassed an incredible 289 million views, 289 million views in the first 24 hours, beating its predecessor Infinity Wars. The former record holder had a total of 230 million views in the first 24 hours. So filming for this film took place in at the Atlanta studios in Georgia, and additionally more filming took place in downtown and metro Atlanta areas and in New York. So that's where they filmed it. However, and this was quite interesting because the filming was done in 2017 and they filmed Infinity War and Endgame together. But in 2017, Hurricane Irma basically hit America and it became an obstacle for the film's producers because production of Endgame was actually shut down due to the natural phenomenon on the 11th of September 2017. So they actually had to stop filming because of Hurricane Irma.
Oh, at least I got a bit of a break, eh?
Right? So obviously Captain America, so you see him sitting in like this small like closed group where they're trying to comfort themselves. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but there was actually a cameo from one of the Russo brothers.
There's two of them there. I'll tell you now of another guy that was there. Yeah.
So in that small group, you see one of the directors. Now, this is one of the Russo brothers, which I thought was so clever. Like, that was so cool.
There is the actual who is a comic writer and creator, who is one of the guys in there. This is the guy that actually was part of the creation of Thanos. Gamora and also Drax. Is it Drax?
Drax, yes,
and the creator of Drax. He's in that group.
Real?
He's also there in that group. I'll get his name
as
just
in
now.
the VFX creator.
No, he's a comic writer. He's the guy that.
So he came
part
up
of the
with
creation
Thanos.
of it. Yes.
Oh wow, that's super cool, man.
The
gauntlets.
Yes, that's it.
Now, this was quite interesting. So, apparently, Endgame is Robert Downey Jr.'s last contractual duty to portray Iron Man for Marvel Studios. So, for a lot of the actors, their contracts ended now with Endgame. But it says, don't worry though, we have excellent news for fans. Downey Jr. recently announced he plans to continue portraying Iron Man.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're like, but Iron Man's dead.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you know this, but right at the end of the film, there's no end scene, but there's a sound that plays. And what the sound is, it's the sound of hammer clanking. Now, that takes us back to the first Iron Man, where Iron Man made his suit in that cave.
Right.
Now, also within the film, you saw Iron Man figure out what they called a Mobius strip, which almost looks like an infinity. It's a shape that almost looks like an infinity sign,
shape,
which never ends type of thing. And he obviously figured that out before he went to help the Avengers with the whole time travel thing. Now, what they're saying is, technically with that thing, it almost creates a loop in a way.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they're calling this phase the Infinity Saga, which means that there could actually be other like universes, for example, or other do you understand, time loops
that's connected to it.
Yes.
Type of thing.
So
Great.
This might not be the last time you see Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, because they could go with do you understand? So so there's actually a lot. I don't know what they're gonna do, and obviously they left gaps open. Another interesting thing is, so I don't know if you know this, but Google tagged along with the whole Thanos thing. So if you search Thanos on Google, one of the pictures that comes up is the Infinity Gauntlet, which is the glove with the Infinity Stones.
But an animated.
And if you click on it, it will snap, and 2/3 of all the search results disappear.
Yes.
So Google even tagged
in
on
a cool
to,
like animation type of feel.
So Google tagged on to the whole dusted thing, which was pretty
everyone
cool.
Everyone really took on. So to go back, let's just quickly pick up. So where exactly did all the were all the stones? All right. So the Space Stone was as the Tesseract in Captain America that we saw, the first Avenger. The Mind Stone was inside Loki's scepter in the Marvel The Avengers. The Reality Stone was at what did they call this? Ether in Thor. All right. So then the Ether in Thor, the Dark World. The Power Stone within the Orb in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
And then the Time Stone was in the eye of Agamotto,
which were hung around the what was her character's name again? The chick that made Doctor Strange.
Yes,
I can't remember.
Which she already knew of Doctor Strange in this one. I found that also very interesting. Additionally, the Infinity Gauntlet, a glove designed to house the stones, was introduced in Thor. So we see that already there. A different Infinity Gauntlet is briefly seen in Avengers: Age of Ultron, in the possession of villain Thanos, who covets
Yes.
the stones in the comics.
Yes.
So we see how the whole universe just
Comes
sort
together.
of really,
This thing was planned.
pulled itself well together. Joe Ronan, now, here's an interesting fact. So Joe Russo's daughter played as the daughter of,
Oh, Hawkeye.
right in the beginning.
Oh, flip.
That's actually his daughter. So we see the van, the rusted van, where the whole from Ant-Man.
Quantum Realm.
So it was stored in a locker.
Yes.
The locker's number was 616, which apparently is a reference to the designated main universe in Marvel's comic books. So the universe that's coming.
Oh.
So there's another hint for you. All right. Captain Marvel's hair was, now you know that her hair was cut shorter.
Yes.
We see in the beginning.
Why?
That was no coincidence. It's apparently a signature look on the more modern versions of her comic books.
And I personally didn't like it.
I liked it.
I didn't like it. I was like,
It looked more like, type of thing.
man. And do you know that
Alright,
Robert Downey
yes.
Jr. held a Woman of Marvel lunch? So he literally got all of the
What?
chicks. So Captain Marvel, Gamora, Pepper Potts,
serious?
Nebula, Scarlet Witch, literally all of the female characters, and literally held a lunch for them while they were
Serious?
filming. Yeah, there's photos and everything on Instagram. If you go
is
on
it?
his page and you go on the Marvel Studios
Are they
page,
sitting there in their costumes?
In their costumes,
Oh, that's
everything.
cool.
Like blue, Gamora's green, Nebula's blue. Everyone's in their character, but they're having lunch. It was quite cool.
They just must have missed on their suit.
Right.
I'm sure if you go look, there's something like this.
Nah, somewhere.
And then another lead is, now we've seen twice in the Marvel cinema, like between all the different movies. The first one, I can't remember what it was mentioned, it might have been in Thor, but the second one, there is a mention about in the Atlantic Ocean, there's some activity. And again, Fury responds, no, he's not going to sort that out right now. But that is a reference to basically Marvel's version of Namor.
That comes in Spider-Man.
Yes.
Oh.
Namor. Well, I don't know if it's, no, I don't think it's specifically that guy. So there is DC's version, which is called Aquaman.
Oh.
There's Marvel's version.
No, but there is
as
a
well.
water, some water dude.
Which is-
There's two characters that we don't know. There's the one guy with the short brown hair, and then there is
right.
a water. It looks like a water person.
Maybe I might have missed that, but yes.
And just to make a side note mention, so I don't know if you know this, but originally, the Fantastic Four and X-Men are Marvel. However, Marvel went through a rough patch at one point and sold the rights to those characters to 20th Century Fox and so was it Sony? I think it was, or it was definitely 20th Century Fox, and I think it might have been Sony.
Well, Sony has Spider-Man.
But now they've
Yes.
yeah. So now Marvel has bought those rights back, which means Marvel now they've got the Fantastic Four back, they've got the X-Men back, which means technically they have their whole universe back, and now they can make. And we do need a proper Fantastic Four movie, like
Right.
the Fantastic Four movies that have come out
Has
are
not
like.
been so. And then, so on production side, now pretty interesting. As we've mentioned before, both films were shot back to back. Production Infinity War began on January 23rd, concluded July the 14th, 2017. But Endgame began on August the 10th, 2017, and concluded on January the 11th. However, because of the Hurricane Irma that we mentioned earlier on, they then began to shot both of them together within the same thing. This was the first Hollywood film to be shot entirely on digital IMAX using the new camera development. So they used an Array Alexia camera. Now, the thing about IMAX is this, if you guys don't know, everyone's used to watching movies in a more cinematic sort of, so it's more wide than what it is height.
Yeah.
And with IMAX, you've got that wide and you've also got the height as well, which brings on a question of this, right? Because it's shot in IMAX, entirely on IMAX, it means that if you have not watched it in IMAX, there is
Stuff missing.
because they've got to crop it. There's actually, you can almost say, a part of a composition of the shot that you're not seeing. 14 VFX studios were involved in the creation of the film, completely entirely across. Industrial Light being one of them. Of course, we see a lot of the common ones like Method Studios, Weta Digital, Framestore, etc. So that was pretty interesting. Then, in terms of, I always look at the cinematographer just to see who was involved in it. So the cinematographer was Trent Opoloch. I don't know if I've pronounced this correctly. I apologize. Which is a Canadian cinematographer, best known for his work. Now get this, his best work with directors Neil Blomkamp. If you guys don't know who that is, all right.
South African.
His major work includes District 9. Guys, for all our internet, if you haven't seen District 9, go watch it. You'll see our homelands right there. Yeah. All right. So District 9, Elysium in 2013, Captain America as well. So he also worked on Captain America, The Winter Soldier. You can see Chappie, another movie. Guys, if you don't know what Chappie is, it's basically bubblegum. If you don't know Chappie, I don't know if it's an international sweet brand, but in our country, we know Chappie as
bubblegum.
And if you go watch the film, you'll find out why they name him Chappie. But it was also a very good movie. Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and of course, the Endgame is the same cinematographer that was used.
That was brilliant, Ben.
Throughout. So the Russo brothers announced that both films would be shot using the Ray Alexia IMAX cameras. Here we go. This making the first time that a Hollywood feature that was shot entirely with IMAX digital cameras. The footage was digitally processed by IMAX. All right, but now it was released in a 1.9 to 1 aspect ratio, which is what I was talking about, an IMAX ratio. All right, you also get an IMAX ratio, which is 2 point something, which is a lot taller as well. But now Joe Russo said that because of the many characters are tall, the IMAX aspect ratio works well for both types of characters, and the landscapes are stunning as well. So if you know, I want to go see it in IMAX.
Yeah, actually,
I feel like I'm missing out. There are some really exotic landscapes in the film, and to be able to put both on IMAX screen, it's an incredible tool to have as a filmmaker to be able to exploit the scale of the aspect ratio. Infinity War was also shot mostly with a single camera setup, opposed to a 3 camera setup. Now what that literally means is that every shot that they took, it was 1 camera.
Flip.
Okay, action. Then we need an angle from here. Okay, shoot it. So they did that entirely with that. The Russo went with this approach to make Infinity War look bigger over what's called a Verite look. So, and then my last fact, listen to this, approximately 890 hours of footage was shot between both films.
What?
890 hours. So just picture that, 890 hours of footage shot between both. 890 hours of footage. That means if you started playing all of the footage from now, I think Sashi's doing the calculation. Yes, she is.
That would take you 37 days to watch.
So for 37 days, you
that is insane.
Playing
and that's playing. Not stopping it.
Yes.
For 37 days straight, you could have. Yo, that is insane. I wonder how big that must have been huge.
Gigs, a terabyte. What's beyond terabytes?
What is beyond terabyte? That's like.
Yeah.
That is insane.
That is a lot of footage.
That is a lot of footage, man. So if you're wondering, the next Marvel film to come out in 2019 is Spider-Man Far From Home. Mm-hmm. The trailer is out. They released a second trailer, so you guys can go check that out. We see Nick Fury in it. So we have a return of Nick Fury, which we've never seen in a Spider-Man film before. Yes. And the Spider-Man film does follow the events of Endgame. So you actually see like them, they're trying to go back to normal life type of thing. And Peter Parker obviously is also trying to deal with the death now of Iron Man, who made him Spider-Man. And then after that, we're going to be seeing or hearing what's happening in Phase 4.
Right.
Which is pretty exciting. Can I tell you what I loved? He said, so Thanos' line was always, I'm inevitable.
Yes, I'm
inevitable. Then he clicked his finger and there was nothing. It was like there was no, and then Iron Man was like, I am, and then I'm sitting there going, Iron Man, because he always says that, like at the end of Iron Man 1, he wasn't supposed to admit he was Iron Man, but Iron Man 1 ended with him going, I am Iron Man, and then literally like he paused and then said Iron Man. I was like, he said the line. That was so cool.
It's almost like
that was so cool.
Like a full stop.
So like Thanos was like, I'm inevitable, and then Iron Man was like, I'm Iron Man, and then and then just it was like so cool. That was really cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Well done. Can we just give a round of applause for the Russo brothers? Yes.
And the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And every actor that was involved.
Well done, guys. A lot of work. I'm sure they're on holiday right now. No, they're probably filming.
Yeah.
Lots of filming.
So yeah, I think it was the best film of 2019, and I'm saying that already.
17, 18, and no, 2010, 2011, 2012.
No, Infinity War wasn't good. Infinity War was intense, man. Endgame was brilliant.
It set up.
It did set up for, but Infinity War left you like Endgame was just like, yes. That was awesome. That's a movie right there.
And so
That is a movie.
and so to conclude, every cloud has a silver lining. You know, because Infinity War was like, but then...
Right. Yes. Every Infinity War has an Endgame.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice. And...
Every Thanos has an Iron Man.
Yes, there you go.
There we go. Okay, we're going to stop with the
Trademark
cheesy.
that one right there. Nobody's allowed to use that
Right.
one.
Yeah. So, guys, we hope you enjoyed the movie show. We certainly did. And we enjoyed Endgame.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, wait, we have websites and social media. Sorry, we were so excited about Endgame that we forgot the formalities. So, guys, you can go check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also have a website, www.activefm.co.za. Ryan left me hanging there.
Right.
Ryan Infinity Warred me there.
Right.
And then we are also on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts, and we are on YouTube.
Yes.
Yay! So you can go check us out on Active TV.
You can actually see the show.
You can see
and you
us.
see all the stuff that we talk about because we can do it visually.
Yes.
To the visual medium.
We are on the playlist, the movie show, so
That's
you can
right.
go check us out there.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Ryan and I are on Instagram as well, and we are on Facebook. Ryan is an interesting name on Facebook, guys. Ryan, tell them
Do
your
I?
name. You do.
I haven't been to my Facebook page for
Actually,
a long
on
time.
Instagram as well. What's your average username?
Hoodie?
What? Where does Hoodie Lee?
Hoodie Lee.
Ryan, please tell us where that came from.
So in my high school, they used to call me Hoodie
Why?
because I always had this hoodie on.
Oh!
And then my second name is Lee, so
Lee.
Hoodie Lee.
I'm just Sasha Lee
There
because
it
my
is.
name is Sasha Lee.
Right.
That's cool. Hoodie Lee and Sasha Lee. You
Ah.
see? You see?
You see?
Yeah, you see?
Lee.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the movie show. We hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you, speak to you, tell you awesome facts about movies
Next week
next week.
with another new
another-
new movie.
Yes. Yeah. Peace out, man.
And God bless.
When I breathe my final breath, when it seems like it's the end, remember that, that's where I begin. When I let go of the world, fly away like I'm a bird, don't cry for me, just let me go. Oh.